Tonight I saw the film Stakeland, which is a sort of vampire film. The vampires are sort of, the normal vicious sort of vampire, but they seem to be a bit crossed with zombies in the way that mainly most of the time they sort of stumbly walked and were covered in blood and things like that, grunting rather than speaking very much, things like that. And then other times, of course, they had fangs because they're vampires, could move faster, things like that. So there's sort of cross between the two, but I guess there's no sort of real definition that says they can't be or something. So that's the way they were. I guess it's better than, Twilight and I think it's good to have a vampire film where the vampires are vampires, things like that. It sort of starts with a boy who, I'm not sure what age we're supposed to believe he is because it's really hard to tell people's ages. I'd say at the beginning of the film he's supposed to be like 14 or 15. And then at the end of the film, maybe he's 17. Because I imagine the film takes place over the course of 2 years or something, because one of the characters that he meets along the way is pregnant. And I imagine, obviously, pregnancy, that would be 9 months or something. So if he knew her for 6 months of it, that would be 6 months of the time. And they were travelling through the film. So I just imagine that a couple of years will have gone by through the film if you travelled across America or something and walking some of it, driving some of it. I just imagine it's 2 years. Basically travelling, him and a man as the two main characters. They're quite good main characters, I think. Yeah. It's good. I liked it. Although there was quite a few themes of religion. I don't think you can escape themes of religion in apocalyptic, vampires and zombie films. I don't think the idea can be got rid of, because obviously when you're thinking of these things, mortality and things like that are going to come up at some point. But it did seem quite important to this film, I think, where they had some bad Christians and who were just sort of killing other people and burning it for other people and stuff, and trying to force their religion onto other people, saying they were right basically, and try to take over, and a couple of Christians who weren't, and sort of, I guess, more liberal and letting people be themselves or something, being more people-ish. Just I suppose a good way of putting it. I don't know why they chose Christians specifically. In a way, I think they could have just said religious people or a cult or something, and it would have just been the same. You'd have thought, okay, they're religious people, but they said Christians deliberately, I think. In a way, I think that it links it more to... It's probably a good thing they said Christians deliberately, because I think that in real life you can come across some people who try and shove religion at you, and some people who be more liberal. So to try and not mention what it is would have been silly, I guess. I think there was quite a lot of symbols in the film as well, like necklaces. I think quite a lot of the time when a character met a different character or left or something, they would give their necklace to a different character or something like that. Things like that, the little symbols that, I mean, they don't give away storyline or something. I'm not giving away what happens, things like that, but yeah, I think there's quite a lot of little symbols that are quite good throughout it, which is good. Sort of more realistic, because it centres around the viewpoint of the boy. At the beginning, he doesn't seem to really know what's going on, really, as much. Because it seemed like he hadn't been reading the news and things, which is, I suppose, what a lot of teenagers probably don't read the news and things like that. So then along the way, when they were travelling, if he saw a newspaper or something, he would be interested in seeing what it said, because, so, it's a bit sudden to him, I guess. Seeing that it was in the news and stuff would be a bit of a shock to him, I guess. So it's a bit more realistic, the ideas that they bring in.